Hi everybody, I wanted to show you a very rare find that I picked up used. Of course, they don't make these anymore. This is the SAE 8000 FM Tuner. They're very rare, apparently. Brand new, these units cost $650. This particular one was built in 1977, so you can get an idea of how old this is, and it's still working pretty good. I've seen these units sold on eBay starting at $150 up to $300 used, so I'm not getting rid of this. So before anybody asks, no, I'm not getting rid of this. I'm keeping this unit. I'm just doing a little overhaul on it because it's been in storage and it's a bit dusty. It has to be cleaned out, and I have it hooked up here. I'm going to give it a little test and just show you this very unique piece of equipment, and I've got some speakers hooked up so we can actually hear the sound quality of it as well. I'm going to have a look inside and around the back, and there's something wrong with it which I'm going to point out later. Maybe someone knows how to fix that. Maybe it's just an adjustment. So let's give this a little power on, and we'll go through and we'll tune and we'll see what we can pick up with this. And basically the issue with this tuner is the signal, not the signal strength. So that's the signal strength meter. This is the tuning meter. Is not functioning properly, is not center tuning like it's supposed to, and we'll see that in a minute. So I'm going to just zoom in on this and we'll show you the center tuning meter, which is not focusing because for some reason, and that's the signal strength meter. So let's tune and see what we can find here, and we'll go over the controls later too. Keep in mind this is connected to a piece of speaker wire. So we'll see what kind of signal we can get with just speaker wire connection.
Não pagar salários está com o Açoriano Oriental, acrescentando que esta situação pode ocorrer durante o período.
I'm not sure if you can see the meters from here, but this is center tuned, this station, and you can see how the signal strength meter is showing full 10, but the tuning meter is way over on the left. So there's definitely adjustment needs to be done there, or maybe it's a faulty meter. Like I said, if anybody knows what's wrong with that, let me know and I'll see if I can fix it. The tune is a bit dirty too, has to be cleaned.
Yesterday I was at the Apple store playing with that new iPad. Crazy. If you want to get your hands on one and you don't want to go to Apple, all you got to do is listen up to us Monday morning.
Simple as that.
This is 99.1, the only station in this area that doesn't broadcast stereo. As you can see, the stereo light is not coming on. Don't know why they don't broadcast stereo.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about crutches. It could be anything. Candy is a
This station here is sort of coming in, but not really. This is a community radio station. It's about an hour and a half away from here. This is the only tuner that can get this station. Not very good, but keep in mind it's only a speaker wire antenna. I'm sure I could probably get this station if I actually had a proper antenna. So this is actually pretty amazing.
$40 million.
costly to replace an old heating system. That's why...
A little more funk and groove in store.
Funk and groove.
In Niagara on the Lake. Tickets are $50 per person, with proceeds going...
As a group. Don't be like Grace.
Oops, I forgot to wear...
Why go on a vacation when you can go...
Okay, so that's the entire FM band scan. And so that was pretty good reception actually for something that's not hooked up to a proper antenna. A very, very good piece of equipment this is. I'm actually glad I found this. As you can see, it's rack mountable. And I will go through some of the controls on this. If we can get it to focus. Power, obviously, we know what that is. 2 mute levels, that's when you have the mute defeat turned off. I don't use mute because sometimes weaker stations you don't get them, so I have the mute turned off, but that's your mute off and on. 2 different levels of muting. Level output, this is the output from the back, minus 10 decibels or regular. This is tape output. Now what this is for, if this is used as a FM broadcast monitor, stations will connect their logger tape machines to this. Usually that's on the back panel. I don't know why it's on the front of this unit, but that's what it's for. Over here, stereo filter, that's to filter out stereo noise. De-emphasis, that's interesting. You don't see this too often on tuners. What that is, that was based on the old Dolby system where FM stations actually they'll emphasize their high frequencies and then the tuner will de-emphasize them back to normal, and that's used to filter out background noise. In North America, all FM stations are regulated to have a 50 microsecond de-emphasis, de-emphasis, and that would be the normal setting on here. But if you were to put a power converter on here and take this to Europe or someplace else, they may have the 25 microsecond de-emphasis, and you put that in, and you can actually tell if you're tuned to a station and you push that, you can see that it gets very, very tinny sounding when you use that in North America in that setting. So again, not something you ever touch really. And these are your mono and stereo controls. When they're both out, it's automatic. In, obviously, switches to mono. And this is interesting. I find when you have the mute turned on and you push stereo only, you'll only get stereo stations. Obviously, and interestingly enough, if you press them both, you get nothing because you switch to mono and you got it on stereo only. So these you would normally just leave off in the out position. That's the front panel controls. I've shown you the meters on here, and so now let's take a look at the back panel. Okay, here's the back panel of the SAE 8000 tuner. There you have antenna connections for 375 ohms. That's pretty well standard in all tuners. That's an interesting connector. Oscilloscope. You can connect a scope to this and actually see the broadcast on the scope. Kind of interesting. I've never done that because I don't have a scope. The 4-channel MPX output. At one time, FM stations broadcast 4-channel. You could connect this output to a 4-channel converter and get the 4-channel stereo sound. That's not done anymore, so that's pretty well useless. And your regular left and right outputs, and your power in and fuse connectors. I'm going to take a look inside now, and I'll get a flashlight so you can see it. This is inside the tuner. And you can see all kinds of little pots inside there for controlling stuff. I don't know if you can see what they say. These are for signal strength meter control. And there's one, these are signal strength adjustment, minimum adjustment, maximum adjustment. This is these are the mute, high frequency and low frequency mute threshold. Another mute adjustment, I'm not exactly sure what that one does. And this one here, the stereo threshold adjustment. So if you're having problems getting stations in stereo, it might be that adjustment. Over here, this one's your pilot signal control. There it is right there. I never touched that. And this one here, if you can see it, it's in right there. That's not labeled, so I'm not sure what that does. But I'm sure if I play with a couple of these or a few of these, I might be able to get the tuning meter to work. So that's pretty well it. The introduction and showing the SAE 8000 or Mark VIII FM Tuner, analog with a digital display. And there it is on again. And let me just see if I can show you the emphasis, if you can tell. Let's do a stronger station. You can tell it's a little bit tinier when you press the de-emphasis on. That's on the 25 microsecond de-emphasis, and that's normal. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.